What's up, everybody? I'm Vortak. Welcome back to Modded Minecraft, where today we're taking a quick look at the Simple Storage Network mod. This mod has seen some updates since my last tutorial, my last spotlight on it, so I wanted to update it a little bit, and we are actually playing in the FTB Omnia mod pack, which is why I have all kinds of tabs with all kinds of fun items. So, what we're going to be showing you today is just how to set this up on your Minecraft world and how it can benefit you and how it's great for early game progression in modded Minecraft. Of course, if there's other mods you would like me to showcase, let me know in the comments. I would like to do a handful of these. So I've set up this kind of demonstration area, and what I'm going to be showing you first are just the different blocks that you can craft. There's not a lot of them. And the first one worth pointing out is the Storage Network Master. It is the heart of the network, and you only need one per network. The next thing you'll need to access the network is a storage inventory or a storage request table, and the only difference between these is that one does not have a crafting bench inside of it, and one does. This is a little more expensive, as you would imagine. If I open up my inventory and look at the recipe, it actually requires a storage inventory to make the storage request table, and the request table only requires a few iron nuggets and network cables, which are also very cheap to make. These two objects actually got mixed up for today's demonstration, so let me just go ahead and put this here and put this here. Now, you have some items, and you would like to access them in a mass storage network. You can treat your chest as a hard drive. All you have to do is grab yourself a link cable and slap it on the back of the inventory you would like to link as if it were a hard drive, and then network cables to connect it to the network master. It's that simple. And now if I open this chest and store something inside, it's in here, and I can grab my import cables, and they're no longer in the chest. The mod is that simple, and it's cheap to get into. But what if you want a little more automation? What if you have a crafting table in here and you go out and you're mining coal and you're mining iron, and you would like it to auto smelt for you when you dump it into this chest and go back to your mining, go back to your activities? We're going to set up a really quick system for that. The way it works is we need import cables and we need export cables, and link cables in this case would probably also help. So I'm going to grab a link cable and put it on the back of this chest. I'm going to use this furnace. And the way it works is you need to pay attention. Import cables import all items from attached inventories into the network. So you need to think of this in the sense of the actual storage inventory itself. So an import cable imports items into the network, which means it's going to go in the bottom of the furnace. Anything smelted into the furnace gets imported into the network. And then we want to export things from the network into the furnace. So I'm going to put all of my iron going into the top, and I'm going to put anything it smelts like iron back into the system. And then the last thing we're going to need for a furnace anyway is coal. So I'm actually going to use another export cable and just put it right there. I'm going to put all my coal in here because you actually load coal from the sides or the back and then the items on the top on this furnace. So I've grabbed some iron and coal, and the way this is going to work first is I'm actually going to get one piece of iron and one piece of coal, and I'm going to whitelist these items. So if we go into the export cable and right click, I'm going to switch this to whitelist, and I'm going to whitelist coal here. And then anything I want to smelt, I'll go into here, hit whitelist, and iron right there. So the reason I'm doing this is because I don't want to do a lot of thinking. I just want this to kind of work while I'm out and about. I'm going to take the network cable, and I'm going to attach it into the network. So it's linking to this export cable. That's fine. That means it's going into the network master. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this export cable right here. So all of this stuff is linked together. It looks sloppy because I put the furnace a little too close, but you get the point. All right, make sure to sleep so it stays daytime. I'm going to take a network cable and now link the link cable to our inventory, so we actually have some hard drive space in the network. So everything's ready to go. You've gone out mining, you grabbed a bunch of coal and a bunch of iron, you want to put it in here, and now you want to forget about it. You'll notice that iron has already left this window, and it's like, huh? Well, that's because the coal and the iron, because of our whitelists, are automatically loaded into the furnace, and the furnace is smelting the iron, and it's being sent into the network, and now it's right here in this chest. So you can use this for automation, and it's really simple to set up. And I wish I moved the furnace a little bit farther so it didn't look all complicated with network cables going into every port they could possibly find their way into. But again, I'm sure that makes sense. Let's look at something a little more sophisticated now. Let's take a look at a drawer network, a whole bunch of stuff, right? You have all of your things in a storage drawer network, and you want to access them through a storage request table. It's really easy to do, just as easy as the chest, because this thing interacts with mods like iron chest and storage drawers. So What you'll do is you'll take a link cable, or if you want, we can even check out the filtered link cable, although this might be a terrible example because this thing's already filtered by the fact that it's a storage drawer system. But we'll just take a regular link cable and we will slap it on the back of this. And then we will take our network cables and bring them to our network master. And by hooking this up, we can now see everything that is inside the storage drawers, and we can take them out and we can put them back, and that's all fine and dandy. So that's awesome. I love that. Now I can go and mine a whole bunch of stuff and everything will go into my storage drawers automatically. Now, because we used a normal link cable, the problem with this setup is that a chest, for example, like a regular old chest, could go here. We could throw a link cable on this, and now the chest is also linked to the network. So I can go ahead and take some cobblestone out of the storage drawer, okay? And then I can open this up, and I'm like, oh, I want to put my cobblestone away. It went into this chest, and it did that because the chest is actually showing up sooner than our storage drawers, but we don't want that. So the way you can fix this is by adding a filtered link cable into this whole setup. So what I'm going to do is replace this link cable here with a filtered link cable. So when you open up this filtered link cable, you have a whitelist and a blacklist, just like we had over there on our furnace setup. You can open this up and you can whitelist and blacklist items, but importantly, I want to show you the priorities. This is set to priority 0. 0 is the highest priority you can have. It's the lowest number and therefore the highest priority. So now when we take the cobblestone and put it in, it did not go into the chest. This is a normal link cable, and because it has no priorities, it's going to first look at your filtered link cable and decide, okay, priority 0 is a higher priority than something that doesn't even specify a priority. So I'll put the cobblestone back in here where it belongs, which is awesome. If you want a proof, some proof of this, I will get rid of this. I'll put this filtered cable here, and I'll actually set this to priority 1. So this chest should still be skipped. So if I go over here, I grab my cobblestone, I come over here, I go to put it away, it did not go into the chest. With these both set to priority 0, what I can do is leave the chest at 0. Let's put the storage drawers at 1. And just to show you what I'm talking about, I'll take the cobblestone out, I'll put it in here, and there it is. This is the highest priority because I set it to 0. So hopefully you understand how the priorities work. And I will admit I was confused with them at first. I always imagined 0 would be the lowest priority and any number higher than it, because I think that's how refined storage works, would be the better priority, but that is not how Simple Storage Network mod works. There are also upgrades in this mod. There's only 2. There's a speed upgrade and a stack upgrade, which is ideal for automated systems like auto smelting of iron. So now the iron will be removed from the network at a higher speed and in larger stacks. You can stack more upgrades in here if you'd like, but they're pretty simple, and they're also not super hard. You do need some redstone and some blaze powder for the stack upgrade and the speed upgrade, some gold and some redstone. These are definitely worth it for massive systems that you need to prioritize a lot of smelting and other automation tidbits with. The last thing I'm going to show you are the network remotes. We have a storage remote and we have a crafting remote. And the way these work are really simple. The storage remote accesses the storage, the crafting remote accesses the storage and allows you to craft. The storage remote is crafted like so, with a glowstone block and some slime. Not super expensive, but the crafting remote is likely the most expensive item in Simple Storage, with requiring sea lanterns and blocks of gold and your network master ender chest. So the default crafting recipe for this is pretty spendy, but you can craft from it wherever you are. The way this works though is you have to shift right click to marry these to your network master that you would like to marry them to. And then wherever you are, you can access this with one catch. You need to chunk load the storage network master in order for these to work across dimensions or when you get really far away. So the way I'm going to do that is through FTB chunks. I'm just going to go ahead and open up the claim chunks, and I'm just going to shift click them, and they'll become chunk loaded. And now I should be able to go to the nether as it gets dark in the overworld. Because I chunk loaded it, I have access. I did test this without chunk loading, and I was very, very confused. But no, it does work with either remote across dimensions wherever you are, but you have to make sure to chunk load it. Otherwise, you will not have that luck. And that's Simple Storage Network. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And if you're interested in more mod spotlights, I will catch you in the next one. See you later.